No views, no likes. Like when Michael Scott has that party, and then that guy like walks past and like, oh, there's a party here, and he's just like playing the tune on his own.
How do I find it?
I don't know. It says there's no one
watching.
watching.
Hopkinson, or are you on not?
No, I'm on.
You're on what?
I don't know.
Well, I can't find it.
Maybe it's unlisted. Edit. Customization. Live chat. Monetization. Details. Alright, should I end it?
No, is it? Yeah, it's on unlisted.
Ah, okay.
Do you want me to make it public?
Yeah.
Alright, you might want to refresh it.
Now let's just see what happens for now. Surely it should. I'll refresh it.
No, it's on.
Huh?
Please end it.
Oh, hello. Just gonna wait for a couple of people. Hello, Ayo. How am I? I'm pretty good. How are you? That is Giga. Thank you, Zach. I assume that's a compliment. Greetings. How long you been here, Lewis? Because the start was quite a long time ago. Okay. Now this is too many. The quality is real bad for me. Anyone else? Audio or video? Because the video is... We can make the audio better. We can't really make the video better. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, I'm just off the laptop. Hello, Paul in Paris. Audio is great. I don't know if... I hope that's not sarcastic. It doesn't really come through on text. Hello, David. He lives. Wow, it's from a Mac, so feedback for Apple. When will your Lord of the Rings reactions to the Two Towers be out? Okay, I'm just reading these questions for now. Thank you very much, Glenn. And from the penal colony. Is this really low? Is the video quality lower than it needs to be?
It's really low on my phone.
Is it?
Yeah. But our Wi-Fi isn't great.
Okay. So we don't know if it's the video quality is really bad because our Wi-Fi is terrible. You reckon that's it? Okay, well, we'll see how we get to. As long as you can follow me and I'm in time, then.
Can you see that there's text on the Wi-Fi behind you?
Can you actually not? Recording on a potato. Try a cable. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, we've never tried an Ethernet cable. Is this followable? if some of you could answer. Am I at least in sync? Looks like 1997. Yeah, I think we're. It's crazy how technical we can be. Oh yeah, no, that's bad. It's crazy how technical we can be with our video effects, and we can't even live on anything a bit more than 280p, 240p. If you hold still, it depixelates, so I just have to hold still like this for the whole video. I won't move my mouth too much. Like Qui-Gon is streaming from the loo. We're not going to be drawing on the board. The board is just basically, well, we'll start by saying thank you for coming. We're doing this as a first just general Q&A. We haven't been on for a little bit. So any questions that you have, we're going to choose a few of them and answer, and also just give you an update as to what we are doing on the channel. What it says on the whiteboard, which you probably can't read because the video is so bad, is if a whole bunch of you could go to our latest Rings of Power video, episode 8, the last one that we posted, it would be really great for the channel if you could just go and like leave it running and leave some watch time on it, give it a like, a comment, or a share. That basically allows us to wrap up all the Rings of Power stuff, because at the moment that's holding us back, and then we can go on with all the new stuff. That would be very much appreciated if you could do that. Just as much engagement as you can, and if you could just leave it in a tab like running in the background, that would be great. Right, so need a stream producer. Yeah, there'll be better streams than this. This is a bit more of an ad hoc stream. All right, let's do some questions then. Any questions that you have about the channel? Later on, I'll go through exactly what we've got in the pipeline, what we're planning to do, and what the next few months will look like. But first of all, bit of a Q&A. Do you have any questions about the channel? It can be anything. It can be how we do the stuff, anything about the storylines, anything that didn't make sense that you want clarification on. Yeah, all right, let's have a look at a few of these then. If we send you donations, will you write something funny on the board? I don't think you'll be able to read it, to be honest with you. So,
this person said the one from an hour
ago. Not the one from an hour ago, right? No. The link is in the description to the video that we need to like basically boost the views up a little bit, so we can leave it.
The one from the 10th of October.
The one from the 10th of October, the link is in the description. Keep at it, Chuckles Hopkinson. Okay, that's the 4th nickname I've got now. Shirley Chuckles Hopkinson. Will we have Frodo in the Two Towers? Now, I don't really want to give that away, but so I'm not going to. I'm not going to give away any storylines, okay, because I don't think you'd want to see that anyway. But we do have a distinct plan for Frodo. When a crossover Star Wars Lord of the Rings, there's already one out there. We did Gandalf and Obi Wan react to Star Wars with lightsabers. We might do another. I'd probably prefer to do it as like one of the cold opens. We've got some ideas about crossing over the characters in like a multi-dimensional cold open.
How much was scripted and how much ended up being improv by Shetland Apache?
Okay, Shetland Apache. How much is scripted and how much is improv? I'd say it's probably 95% scripted. What doesn't tend to be scripted is obviously some of the looks and the reaction shots. Like a lot of that is, we don't know what they're going to look like until we put it through the software. And then also sometimes funny things come out in certain performances. So there's often like a variation in a performance of the lines, and we don't really know which is going to be the best until we've seen the final product. So yeah, about most of it is scripted though. Every now and then there's a physical thing that happens that you just want to like run with, and then you've got to keep it in your brain when you do the other characters, and then you've got to like react to it retrospectively.
Simon Truss, how long does it take to write an episode?
Simon, so it varies on how long it takes to write an episode. When we do the episodes that are very current episodes like Rings of Power, The Acolyte, etc. It varies, but I tend to write them all in 3 to 4 hours. Those ones, which ends up being about a 15 to 20-minute video. The more like legacy ones, which is like the whole of Lord of the Rings or the whole of like the prequels, take a lot longer because they get a lot of rewrites and they're probably richer and more layered as a result. I think if you watch them most of the time, you'll realize that the quality is higher on those of the writing. Apart from Ahsoka, which just seemed to like come out really well, we were just really happy with that. Maybe it's a lot of it is just what comes out of the show, I guess, and we got a little bit lucky that we sowed some seeds early on that paid off at the end, what we kind of guessed, which really helped. But most of the time, we put a lot more time and effort into the writing of, obviously because we don't have deadlines to get it out within 2 days.
Someone said greetings to the niece lady in the background. Greetings, right?
Niece lady.
Well, I assume they meant nice, but this person, did you ever do any reactions to Star Wars Christmas Special?
Did we ever do any reactions to Star Wars Christmas Special? Well, it didn't do very well, but yeah, it's there. The full thing is there. It's a 40-minute video, and people were sick of it after about 10 minutes, according to the YouTube stats. But every Christmas, come back to it.
Are you continuing Star Wars reactions, and will you be doing Skeleton Crew reactions? So
the plan for Skeleton Crew is we are going to do it, but we're going to do it in shorter videos than what we've been doing. So we've generally been doing 20-minute videos. We want to play around with them, like more around that 10-minute mark. So the plan is at the moment to do Skeleton Crew. In terms of Obi Wan and Qui-Gon, we've 70% filmed A New Hope and probably 60% edited it. A lot of effort is going into these, and they're ending up being quite long. Hopefully, we are filming Padme again on Tuesday. That is the big thing. That's like, because that's obviously the only character that is not me. So trying to logistically get that sorted has been difficult. That is what is holding us back. But they are in the process. We've filmed the whole of Clone Wars Season 1, which is on the Patreon, which will be coming to YouTube relatively soon because we've just finished filming Season 2 in its entirety. And we're going to be working on that. As soon as Season 1 is finished on the Patreon, it'll start coming onto YouTube. Just for anyone that has just joined us, it would be really good for the channel. It would be a big help if you could go to our Rings of Power episode 8, link in the description, and just basically leave it running and leave us some watch time on it, or a like, a comment, or a subscribe, just to get it up, because that allows us to tie all that up and then move on to the next batch of things that we're working on. That's like something that's holding us back. So that would be greatly appreciated if you could do that. We need some Tom Bombadil Jamadillo merch. People are really conflicted on Tom Bombadil. I absolutely love. I really like the Tom Bombadil that we did in the original Lord of the Rings series. I can see why he's a little bit more grating in the Rings of Power. Maybe he's someone who needs a bit more of a delicate touch. You don't want to listen to him for more than five minutes. But Sheldon Apache, yes, Patreon is the best way to support us. Everything is super useful. All watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, all that is very appreciated. But yeah, if you can afford it, then Patreon is the best way to support us. Thank you if you do.
Gandalf's voice, is that you? It's like really
good. Is Gandalf's voice me? Yes, it is. Although you probably can't tell if this even is Gandalf from this lower quality of video camera.
Thank you very much, Joel. Appreciate it. I was singing Tom's Jam songs at work. Slimy little fisher-dillo. Slimy little fisher-dillo. Tom is the best. Good question. The sneaky skunk. Will there be a Harry Potter watch party? We have Harry Potter 1 and 2 written I need to go and do rewrites. So the writer that I work with on Lord of the Rings has done his version of the first 2 episodes, and now I need to add my stuff. We just can't get to it. We've got too much stuff to do for Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Like, I would really like to do Harry Potter, and I think it'd be really fun. I've got quite an enjoyable storyline. Well, I think it's an enjoyable storyline written for that one, but we just can't get to it. Hopefully, in the next 2 years, we'll be able to get those first 2 out. Simon Trust, why did baby Elrond suddenly become Daddy Elrond? If you want to know the answer to that, you need to go to the episode that was before the Council of Elrond. That's where the answer is. Thank you very much, Ashton.
What's your favourite franchise series that you've covered in your videos?
Oh, I'm going to annoy some people with this one. My favourite franchise is Lord of the Rings. But my favourite dynamic...
Sorry, Enslot's Legend.
Coringal, I know my internet's annoying. I'm the one who has to live with it. You have no idea how much time we lose because of this internet. My favorite franchise is Lord of the Rings. My favorite dynamic of characters is the Star Wars. I think they're the most fun to have a dynamic around. My favorite character is Gandalf and Boromir. Maybe Qui-Gon, but yeah, Lord of the Rings is by far my favorite set of films ever. All right, next one.
When everyone is writing.
Oh, thank you very much, Stitch. I very much appreciate it. Oh, and yeah, if you would check out the Patreon, that would be great. Thank you.
When everyone is writing, do you find your interpretation characters sometimes take unexpected twists and turns or developments that you didn't intend?
With what, sorry?
When everyone is writing, do you find your interpretation characters sometimes take unexpected twists and turns or developments you didn't intend?
I think sometimes you write like a little joke or a little observation, and that ends up being like a cornerstone of someone's character, and then you just run with that. Obviously, I don't know why we did this. I think the whole snacks thing with Qui-Gon came out because I just thought the funniest thing when Qui-Gon watched the younglings attack was for him to be eating a bag of peanuts and more interested in the peanuts and distracted by the peanuts than that. And then that was the video that was like, I think that was just as Kenobi came out and Qui-Gon had just been in it. And that was a little short video that we did. And that was the first one that did like well on the main channel. And then from that point onwards, an entire new dimension for that character was born. And yeah, it's fun making it, taking on.
I enjoyed going out to buy most disgusting snacks I could get Charlie to eat on camera.
So I'm not also in charge of the snacks that I eat. So that's my sister Isabel, who chooses the snacks I eat for Qui-Gon. And her favorite part of her job is going out and finding the most rancid snacks and then just see me react to them in the first like minute, just the first one that I taste. A lot of that is obviously a lot of that is improvised, like just that first reaction to to eating Marmite crisps or disgusting the seaweed snacks, yeah. And then it's really noticeable, like just how much I eat of certain snacks and how much I don't eat of certain ones. Like, yeah, you can know. It's pretty easy to tell when I don't like one. Chocolate Santa was good. I mean, the snacking does again. It sends some people really don't like it, but it's the character now. All right, Spragian. I've seen Hobbit trilogy a few times now, so. Let's answer that. Yeah, we plan to do the Hobbit trilogy. Unfortunately, Star Wars does get more views, so that will be the focus for the next little bit. I will definitely be doing the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy. We just have to find a way to do them slightly more efficiently. It took us quite a while to do the Fellowship. The characters are a lot more realized right now, and Two Towers is 60% written, maybe. Thank you very much, Corin Gill. The gift of the foes of Charlie. Thank you very much. So we will be doing the Hobbit trilogy. We've got a pretty set plan of what we're going to do for the whole Lord of the Rings, and I'm glad that people enjoy it. It just takes a while for the algorithm to find it, which means at the moment we're going to have to focus on Star Wars, but we will definitely be getting there eventually. We will be doing Andor season 2. We need to go back and do Andor season 1. In fact, when we did Andor season 1, there was one guy who kept asking, when are you going to finish Andor? And 2 years later, we will be finishing Andor. I've got the characters obviously grown a lot since then, so it'd be nice to go back and they weren't very cemented in their place when we did those Andor episodes, the first 4. So it'd be actually quite interesting to go back and watch them at this point.
When did you realize you could do voice impressions?
It wasn't really a realization. I sat down and tried to do it to do voice impressions about 14 years ago. 14 years ago? Yeah, 14 years ago. Wow. And then after about 2 years, realized I was quite good at it. Thank you very much, son. I appreciate it. And yeah, we will be doing the original trilogy, but there will be a little bit of a gap between now and the Two Towers. So that is when I started doing impressions. My second ever impression was Gandalf, which is probably my favorite impression, along with Walter White, that I do. I didn't really do Star Wars until I literally tried to sit down. I kind of did it a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, but until Kenobi, I sat down and I could already do Liam Neeson from early on. And then sat down and tried to master Ewan McGregor's Obi Wan. What?
Sorry, continue.
Yeah. Just a reminder for anyone who's new, if you could help us out by going to the Rings of Power episode 8 that we did and just leave the video running, put some watch time on it, any engagement, just allows us to wrap up Rings of Power because we haven't got enough views on it yet to wrap it up. Any engagement on that would be massively appreciated because then we can move on easier until the new stuff that we're planning. Okay, we're going to do another 5-10 minutes of questions, and then I'll tell you roughly what we have planned, or it might come out organically here. Has Sir Ian McKellen ever responded to your impression? I don't know. I think I've heard some whisperings that maybe he's mentioned me at times, but there's actually no guarantee that it was even me. I don't know what he thinks about this stuff. I think most people think that he would at least find it a bit entertaining, but yeah, I hope he would.
Will there be a Breaking Bad series in the future?
To Christ Rules All 2, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cured your depression. That's really nice to hear. Will there be a Breaking Bad series in the future? Okay, I've got 2 thoughts on this. I'd love to do a Breaking Bad series because I love Breaking Bad, and I really like doing the impressions. I've got an idea of doing it in Alaska with Jesse and Walter White's ghost, and then using Mike in some way. That would be the key 3. The thing that makes me less want to do it is I think part of the enjoyment is seeing these high-powered characters like Jedi, wizards, fantasy characters, seeing them in the mundane, everyday situation is a big part of the comedy. So doing it with something in the real world, I think would lose something. But I would love to do it. And if we can find a way to comedically do it in an interesting way, then yes, I would love to do it. Thank you very much, Joel. Appreciate that. And yeah, seeing you on all the other stuff as well. So thank you very much for supporting us. Has Ewan ever heard your Obi Wan impression? I can't tell you. I don't know. I think he probably has. Again, don't know what he thinks. I don't know what any of them think. Karingil, yeah, just that episode 8. So it's called $1 Gandalf versus $1 billion Rings of Power. That's the video that I would appreciate if you go and watch and drop a load of engagement on. That would really help me out. I can't find the whole videos for the prequels. I don't know. I don't think we've ever removed any of the Star Wars videos. We did forget to put one of the videos in the Phantom Menace compilation. I think that's as far as it gets in terms of like things appearing to be missing, but they should all be there. I don't think I've ever privated or removed any of the Star Wars videos.
Would you ever do a Game of Thrones?
Would I ever do a Game of Thrones? I'd like to do Game of Thrones. Karungil, I'll have a look at that. Thank you again. It's hard to find them. We're looking at all the logistics of the channel and making things a bit simpler, because obviously we do change the titles and the thumbnails to try and optimize things, and it might not always be the clearest. If you ever struggle, always come back to the channel and it should be easier to find it in the playlist then.
I'm 12 minutes behind. Star Wars Christmas Special is one of my favorite of yours.
Just to go back to the Game of Thrones question, yeah, I would like to do it. Unfortunately, our House of the Dragon video is absolutely bombed, which is a shame because they did quite well last time. I think that's the classic algorithm. If you do Star Wars stuff, you do other stuff, they make it really hard to break out of that shell. I just wish you could make stuff and it would find the right audience, but especially with current stuff, it doesn't seem to happen. Game of Thrones would be right for the roasting. I think it's really set up nicely as well, that Qui-Gon style thing of like finding out Ned Stark is basically that Qui-Gon of like learning all the horrible things that happened to his family and the big twists. And then obviously you've got the ending, which is, yeah, ripe for roasting. I totally agree. I'm just not convinced people would watch it, unfortunately. So kind of need Game of Thrones to make a comeback on its own terms before I could really do that.
Will you do the Star Wars originals?
Will we do the Star Wars originals? Yes, they are. We've shot most of A New Hope, and it's in the edit, and the other two are partly written. We're taking our time with them because we want them to be really good. We know that this is like the main thing that people come for at the moment. And like definitely taking that extra time, trying to make it a bit more dynamic, a bit more, yeah, like every time you rewrite a script, it's going to be a little bit better. So yeah, I think I'm quite happy. I'm looking forward to showing A New Hope. I think we've got a lot of funny jokes, and there's a general feeling that most of the times we do like a new one, it gets like a little bit better. Yeah.
Is there any chance we see any more Padme in future Star Wars videos?
Padme will hopefully be in the originals. Yeah, I can't guarantee it because it's obviously the only character that isn't me, pretty much. But yeah, Padme will hopefully be in the originals. She's written in anyway. Thank you very much, Auburn. Yeah. I have no idea who I am either. Bilbo Baggins. Anakin, come on. What are you doing, Anakin?
Obi-Wan getting ready for Skeleton Crew next month.
Obi-Wan is getting ready for Skeleton Crew next month. We're gonna do shorter videos to see to begin with. You're quite welcome, Hourglass Mage. Thank you very much. Gavnut, are we going to continue doing the Clone Wars? Yes, we are. The season 1 will be coming onto YouTube in a couple of months. We've just finished filming season 2, which I'm excited to show you.
Tell them how that's going to be posted.
Yeah, so Clone Wars will be posted in 4-ish episode chunks, and then a compilation at the end. As soon as we've started posting season 2 of the Clone Wars on Patreon, then Clone Wars season 1 will come onto YouTube. So look out for that.
How much time does it take to make one video? How much time does the editing take?
How much time does the editing take? So there's 3 of us, and it probably takes. So each video has to be edited twice. And it probably takes about, for a new episode of an hour long, Rings of Power, for example, it probably takes 3 to 4 days to make a 20 to 25 minute episode. And we're all 3 of us are working all hands to the pump for, 3 days. And it generally goes, write it, I'll film it, and then Isabel will do the initial edit. It will then be deep faked, and then we will make the final edit where it's all mixed together. But yeah. Have a look.
Who's your favorite character to play?
My favorite character to play. So Boromir. What? So I really like playing Boromir, but he also makes me get really lightheaded, his voice, because he always sounds like he's out of breath. And there was one time when we were filming Rings of Power that I hadn't had much to eat that day, and I was doing Boromir for quite an extended period, and my sister came in because I just stopped, like she couldn't hear me filming anymore, and I was just sat down on the sofa going, "Oh God, I think I'm gonna faint." She had to get me like a chocolate bar or something like that. So probably Boromir. Quite like Obi Wan. Obi Wan's quite fun to. I feel a bit easier to riff as Obi Wan. Gandalf's also fun. Yeah, I get a lot of ulcers when I do Qui-Gon, eating too many of the snacks. So I'm actually sometimes quite grateful if the snacks taste gross, because then I'm not tempted to eat them. Would I ever do Doctor Who? I'm afraid probably not, because I've never really seen it. Sorry. You need to know a lot about the things that you're doing, though I do pick up a lot of stuff just from comments, but yeah, I don't really have any base knowledge of Doctor Who, I'm afraid.
You see Mike Schreiber?
Yep. Oh,
He left it.
Mike, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Would I consider doing Star Trek, TOS, TNG? I guess I would. Again, it's a bit in the Doctor Who category in that I've got very limited knowledge of Star Trek. I'd probably have to do it more from a Star Wars angle, because I just don't know. It would take so long for me to, get up to speed with those characters. I wouldn't rule that one out. I'm probably more likely to do that on Doctor Who down the line, but I would say that's probably in the more unlikely. The most likely ones are Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones. They're all ones I almost certainly will do. Then after that, it would probably be Breaking Bad, maybe Dune. Ridiculous. We are going to do the original Star Wars trilogy and sequel trilogy. That is the full plan. That is the main arc of the channel at the moment, along with the Lord of the Rings main videos. Thank you very much. Karungil, do I ever find a new show and think maybe I could do this? Probably the most recent one is Dune. I've definitely, mainly because of the Andor, the character in Andor, Luthen Rael, but like I really like doing the Bill Skarsgård. Is it Bill Skarsgård? Luthen? Anyway, Mr. Skarsgård, his voice.
Dune 1982 or most recent one?
I don't know enough to know the difference, I'm afraid, Simon.
Have you not seen the old Dune?
Oh, yeah. The recent one, I guess. Yep, I would like to do Better Call Saul. Let's maybe do Breaking Bad first, though, if we can even get to that. We've got so much to get through. Dune 82 has the better actors. Billy Scars. Yeah. Hello, everyone who's coming. Just anyone who's new that's joined, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could go to our Rings of Power episode 8 video and just leave it running on a tab, like give it some watch time, give it a like, comment, share. Basically, we need to get the views up for that in the next few days, so that we can draw a line under Rings of Power and then move on to the next stuff that we're making. It's kind of holding us back at the moment. That would be greatly appreciated. It'd be great if you could do that. Okay, back to the Q&A. Let's do a few more questions and then we'll do a general.
Can we have some special hand merch?
So I know we did plan to do some merch. We got part way to doing some Endsluts merch. We just ran out of time. We've had just too much to do, unfortunately. Thank you to anyone who put in a bid to like design it for us. I'm sorry that we didn't get back to you. We just absolutely ran out of time. We stretched ourselves really thin. Pretty much not stopped this year. But we will do some merch at some point. I'll have to come and poll you guys as to what you would want. Have I read all the Middle-earth books? Not all of them, but I've literally just in the last few days finished the original, the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time, and I'm reading the appendices. I think the appendices are really good. Some of the best stuff. It's quite interesting to see exactly how much Rings of Power had to go on. As well as The Hobbit, and see how much they got adapted.
Do you have much of a team that you work with, or is it mostly a solo effort?
So it's pretty much just a solo effort. No, I have. So there's a team of 3 of us. There's me, Isabel, my sister, and then a mysterious second editor, who also does our deep faking now. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's nice to work with your friends and family, for the most part.
Where did Stoner Stupid Anakin come from?
I think Stoner Stupid Anakin came from. So we initially did the deep fake with Hayden Christensen in Revenge of the Sith, and his everything that he said, he was always like this, like really angry, which then changed the writing. But then we.
Also your impression.
And my impression wasn't very good, which didn't help. I had to say my master at the end of every line, which probably got a bit graying. If you go back and see Andor, the Andor episodes that we did. But then we changed the deepfake because we thought, oh, we'll do it from him in interviews where he's completely opposite and he's always really smiley. And just as it started, like as you started doing it with really smiley Anakin, it just made the writing go in that direction. So that was a strange one where the writing went in the direction just because the deepfake made everything really smiley, and then it kind of became this like phenomenon that he was like stoned, and then we wrote that into the story. Yeah.
Your Star Wars content is hilarious. The personalities you developed for them is perfect. How did you decide on different personas you gave Obi Wan, Anakin, and why?
How did we decide on the different personas for the 3 Star Wars characters? Well, I think Star Wars is really ripe for that kind of like comedic characterization because it has the classic sitcom trio, and it also has those classic family dynamics of like grandfather, the really hierarchical grandfather, son, grandson. So they were all there. It was just kind of looking at that dynamic and seeing what's the funniest way to put that together. That's where that came from. And then as you delve into it, you realize there's quite a lot of humanity in just the Jedi Order as a bit of a cult, and you know the favored grandson and the unfavored son. That is like a classic trope that is nice to play into, and it's also nice to have that shift after Qui-Gon finds out what Anakin did, but he still can't quite let go of the in-baked golden grandchild kind of dynamic. So yeah, that's a fun one. It kind of came about organically, and it partly looking at just what's the funniest way to present these 3 characters.
Someone said, love seeing you Beetlejuice credit.
Thank you very much. Whoever mentioned the Beetlejuice.
Grumpy Vet.
What? Grumpy Vet. Oh, and Kevin. Who exactly did I play in Beetlejuice? I played the dead.
Yeah, you can bet shark.
The guy who got eaten by the shark at the beginning. So him in the Netherworld. Thank you, son. I do need better internet. This is actually a very good PC and camera, but yeah, we definitely need better internet, and we'll put that in the internet fund.
On deepfake, why don't you deepfake Gimli, and why is Legolas' face deliberately Botox?
Legolas and Gimli. So Legolas this happens with all the new deepfakes. We just don't have enough time to like run them long enough. Also, deepfakes are less good quality if you don't get as much footage of them. So they just get better over time. If you go back and look at the Anakin a while back, it's rubbish, and now it's pretty good. And also you grow to learn like how to set up the scene so that the quality is better. So it's a bit of trial and error. And why didn't we do Gimli? There's two reasons. One, I kind of do like to remind people that, you know, there is a person behind there doing the thing. But ultimately, I think it probably was a little bit of like, if I went back, I would deepfake. Part of the reason you don't do it is because he's always wearing a helmet. And that would look kind of weird. Like there'd always be like a bit of helmet just floating around on his forehead. But if I went back, I would have deepfake Gimli. And if we bring him in, we'll probably look at doing that for the Two Towers.
Did you ever consider making a making of to share how you produce an episode? This would be interesting.
We thought about doing a making of video a lot of times. We've got some quite funny outtakes, but yeah. Again, we just got so much to do, and we do work a lot of hours that we just haven't got around to it. We probably need a new staff member, to be honest. Let's have a look. Coringil, thank you very much. Thank you again. And Danny, appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you. That's really nice to hear. Daniel, I like the idea of not deep faking for Gimli. The beard would be so. The beard is fine. It's more like the helmet that gets in the way. Thank you. I found that really funny. I shouldn't, because it's me laughing at jokes that I've written or someone else has written for the thing. But for some reason, just the idea of the other characters finding it really annoying that the other ones can't keep it together. The first time I saw that, I found it absolutely hilarious and couldn't stop laughing. I probably left it in a bit too long, but it's probably one of my favorite bits of the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. I guess it's just true. Like, it's a genuine laugh. I was laughing. I couldn't get those lines out. There was more Elrond lines. I just couldn't get that one out. For some reason, whenever the joke involves like pungent smell words, I just can't get it out. And I have to, yeah, that's like the only time that I corpse.
I think you're doing a Christmas special.
Am I thinking of doing the Christmas special? Well, we've already done the Christmas special, so we would have to go back and do it again. But yeah, it's already out there. Go and have a look. We put it out about 10 months ago. Just I think early December last year.
And the Reaper 691 just showed up. Super quick recap, please.
Super quick recap of what?
I think it was a recap of the whole game.
You want a recap of the whole last 43 minutes? Wow, it's gone on for 43 minutes. Well, first of all, if you are new and you've only just joined us, if you could go and slap some watch time on Rings of Power episode 8 video that we did in a new tab or something, that would be greatly appreciated. If you can give it a like, comment, a share, and the link is in the description. It just helps us wrap up Rings of Power and move on, because yeah, we need some more views on that one. Recap, there's been a lot of questions, but generally we're working on the originals. We've got A New Hope mostly shot. We're hoping to film Padme this week, and then quite a bit of work on it, but we're now focusing on Star Wars for a bit. Two Towers is about 60% written, but probably won't be going and finishing writing it until at least the new year. Also, 2 Harry Potter films have been mostly written, but again, we probably won't be touching that until we're much further on with the original trilogy. Let's have a look. I love the breaks and the bloopers. Yeah, I want to include more of the bloopers, to be honest. And I also like using the bloopers from Lord of the Rings. That's some of my favorite stuff in the Lord of the Rings videos.
Any kinds of spin-off content like Obi Wan playing Star Wars video games, or a mix of the characters playing D&D?
Yep, playing D&D, playing video games. That's all things that we would like to do. We just don't have time to get there yet. Maybe in the future. Thank you very much, Alexis. They were some of my bit. Thank you very much, Austin. Appreciate that. It was really fun to go and do the Beetlejuice stuff. Aragorn fishing was a great insert. Thank you. I quite like the way it comes back as well with Sam cutting his foot. I thought I was quite proud of that joke. If you stuck Obi Wan into the Game of Thrones videos with the algorithms, we tried that. It didn't really work. Well, it worked a little bit, but then I think there's no hope for the Game of Thrones videos in the current climate. Hopefully, the climate will change, and then there will be some hope for them.
Have you ever talked in one of your voices without knowing it?
Yeah, sometimes a voice comes out, and I don't intend to do it, and I'm like, "What is that? That is something, isn't it?" And then the best ones is when you're like, "That sounds like that," who I haven't done yet, and then you've got like the in on a new impression. All right, let's do 2 more questions and then wrap it up. Let's have a look. Gandalf the Turncloak. Question: are the states of the Force Ghosts meant to be 100% lore accurate? I think you can probably see that I take a bit of liberty. We kind of make up our own lore about when people can arrive. You'll see a bit more about that in the cold open to A New Hope. But I'm not going to say any more than that.
What's the latest voice you added to your catalog?
The latest voice added to the catalog was Stellan Skarsgård.
What do I sacrifice? Everything.
That guy. Andor. So we might bring him onto the sofa for Andor. I haven't decided yet. It'd be quite a lot of effort to do a costume for them.
Question: what's the fastest land animal?
The fastest land animal is an actor running away from Rings of Power. Ooh. No, I don't hate Rings of Power. I don't hate Rings of Power. I just I wish it could have been better. It's a shame. Okay, let's end on that. Just one last time, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you could go to Rings of Power episode 8 that we posted on the October the 10th, the link is in the description. If you just go and watch it, you don't even have to watch it, just leave it running. If you could like it, comment, share it, that would be great. We just need to get that one over the threshold in order to basically wrap up Rings of Power. Like, it's kind of holding us back from from just moving on fully to the next batch of content. But yeah, thank you for showing up. And maybe we'll do another one of these soon. Yeah, look out for the new content that we're going to have coming out. Mostly Clone Wars-y kind of Clone Wars, A New Hope, Skeleton Crew, and stuff like that. All right. See you later. You don't clap me. All right. Bye.